my crib. Only joking. Welcome back, my season ticket holders. We have a pile of boots that sold, flash sale the other day. Getting ready for the 1 year birthday anniversary mega bonanza super drop of dreams. You will have already seen some of the pairs on Instagram, hopefully. These are going out, lots of stuff's coming in. But in this video, I want to talk to you guys about the first year of Proper Retro, how I've made what I would like to think is a pretty crazy amount of growth in a year. Starting from nothing, no contacts, just 4 pairs of boots to pretty much a second full-time job, a website, an actual business. So, without further ado, come with me and I'll tell you a little bit about year 1 of the Proper Retro Boots story. So, 1 year in, 10,000 followers, 600 something pairs sold all over the world, YouTube channel started, website launched. Been pretty successful, I'd say. For me, the thing I'm most proud of, most impressed with, is it started from nothing, no connections, no investment, just me selling some boots. So I'm going to take you way back, February 2020, before lockdown 1.0, when I literally just had an idea at work one day and it's turned into this. So if you'd like to follow me out of the bathroom, I'll talk a little more about it. But yeah, February 2020, that's our starting point. Come with me. That's enough of that. So as you can see from that and this terrible vest I've got on, the boot room is currently doubling. Pretty serious home gym. Very lucky to have this set up, slash, you know, paid money for stuff from Amazon. But I didn't always have a boot room, didn't have an office, didn't have anything. February 2020, I had the idea at work while looking for pairs of boots for myself to buy a few pairs I thought my friends might want, or maybe some people on Instagram. So I started a page, bought 4 pairs of boots on eBay, totaling £100. And I remember that at the time was a big chunk of money for me. I was working full-time, same day job I have now. I was working in a bar on the weekends, taking photos and doing bar work, and I was just getting by, only just. Living on my own, paying a mortgage, paying bills, just living. It's tough. So £100 at the time was a big investment, and I think where a lot of people go wrong with business is they're too scared to take a leap, invest a bit of money. If you can't spend any money, you won't make any money. So yeah, I took the leap, bought 4 pairs of boots. I messaged my friend Sam straight away, who's a graphic designer, and said, mate, can you knock me up a logo? Because right from the beginning, it wasn't a hobby page for me, it was a business. And working in the field that I do, I knew if you're gonna have a business, you need to take good photos, take pride in the appearance of what you're selling, so get a good logo made, think about how you're going to run your Instagram, how you're going to word stuff, speak to people, start building a brand. I knew that straight from the beginning. That was already in here. I just didn't have the boots, didn't have as much knowledge, and didn't know anything about the market, didn't know any other sellers, didn't know any football players, anything like that. Just had an idea. £100, 4 pairs of boots. That's where we started, what, 12 and a half months ago, by the time you see this video. Oh, what could possibly be in this huge box? Well, let me show you that. Huh. Well, would you look at that? All sorts. It's a shitload of boots. Who would have thought? Again, it hasn't always been this way. It started off just a few boots here and there when I could afford. If I sold a couple of pairs, I'd try and buy 4 pairs. If I sold the 4 pairs, I'd use that money to try and buy 6 pairs, so on and so forth. But what was the big break for me, really, was lockdown. It was being furloughed from work, getting a mortgage holiday, and now, obviously, not everyone was in that situation. Some people lost their jobs, some people lost their homes. Obviously, lockdown affected everyone in different ways. Luckily, for me, incredibly lucky, going from a situation where I had no spare cash, really. I had an overdraft that was still there from uni that was nearing £2,000, so that was a lot of debt. I was paying interest on that every month. It was just eating up cash. To then being in a situation where I didn't have to pay my mortgage. I moved in with my girlfriend and her family, so my living costs had gone down. I was still getting paid 80% of my wage, like a lot of people were. Meant that I finally had some disposable cash to put into the business, as well as having all the time on my hands that I would usually be at work. So I thought, you know what? One, I'll never get this opportunity again, so why not? I spent a few £100 buying as many pairs of boots as I could find. Two, I thought I'll never have this amount of spare time again, so if I don't take the plunge now and really try and make it work, never gonna work. And 3, I wanted something to keep me sane because I didn't have work, didn't have structure, and I know a lot of people were suffering with that. But yeah, went into lockdown, put some money into it, thought about what I was doing, really put some effort into the Instagram page, and from there, it's been amazing. What a roller coaster. Yeah, I'll talk to you a little bit more about this in a sec, give you a few details on the progression. But yeah, lockdown made my business, and in a lot of ways gave me, weirdly, the best couple of months of my life, living the dream, full-time boot seller. Right, see you in the next clip. So I'm at the day job right now. Sometimes it's not all boots, but picking up where we left off. In lockdown, I had a lot more time, some money to put into it, started to pick up, but it's still relatively small at this point. I think we had less than 1,000 followers, but there was one day when I'd gone back to work, and I remember getting a message with a picture of 16 pairs of boots that had arrived, and I was like, this is pretty big time, innit? And then at that point, it was still selling to people that I knew quite a lot. It was still a lot of word of mouth. It was people, you know, supporting me as a small business. And speaking of supporting small businesses, come with me. Chicken boys! Back in the boot room, that was my phone. So fast forward a little bit through lockdown, I'm back at work. Because of the line of work I'm in, we only had, I think it was like a couple of months off on furlough. So I went back to work, so I was back to getting paid normal, but obviously having to work normal hours. So I had a bit more money, still less outgoing, but a lot less time to put into the boots. And that is when Mrs. Retro really stepped up. She was mind-blowing. She was packing orders every day. She was making a spreadsheet, tracking everything coming in and out. She was basically doing everything behind the scenes while I was at work. And I can't thank her enough for that. Without her, PRB would be absolutely nothing, 100%. I joke around saying she's like the business manager of it, but she really is. Like, I have all the creative ideas and, you know, the know-how, stuff like that, the advertising, but she, on like the back end of stuff, is brilliant and wouldn't be here without her. Anyway, enough about that. So it gets to the point in lockdown where I'm getting like maybe 20 pairs a week delivered. The postman is turning up with a full post bag just full of boots for me, just leaving it there, saying, give me the bag back tomorrow that I'll be back for another 20, won't I? And I'm thinking, what, this is mad. And I think to myself, right, I keep putting up like one pair at a time when I get stuff in, and it's working, like it's going well, but what could I do that's a bit different? And at the time, like the only time you'd ever see someone do like a big launch or a big drop all of the same boots was like Rare Boots For You or BW, someone like that, someone massive. So I thought, why don't I take that approach, build up loads of hype, do like a big drop all of one thing, but with the kind of stuff I was selling at the time that was more like used, affordable boots. A lot of top end stuff still, but yeah, like used. So that's when I came up with the idea to do the first big 3 drops. Proper Retro. I'd just hit just over 1,000 followers, I think. I'd done a few giveaways and there was quite a lot of hype around the page at the time, so I thought this is a really good idea. So I did my 3 most requested boots at the time. Obviously Predators, Nike CTRs and Adidas Nitro Charge 1.0, which I now can't seem to sell to save my life. So yeah, did those drops, the Nitro Charge first, then the CTRs, and the CTR day was pretty crazy. I think I had like 9 pairs and they all sold in like 2 hours, and I was like, wow. For me, I was like, this is a lot of money I've just made right here, because, you know, I picked them up cheap used, I'd cleaned them up, took nice pictures, sold them. And then the next day was the Predator drop. I remember taking the picture and being like, wow, like this is something different, this is a new level for me. And I put that up, and I remember straight away got shared to loads of pages. It was like technically a really nice photo, it looked good, and like everyone was sharing it about, people going wild. I sold loads of the Predators, and that weekend, after I'd sold all these boots, I'd been reinvesting for a while. At this point, I think I'd paid like £500 on my overdraft off with boots, and then just paid the rest of it off. It was gone. I was like, I'm debt free for the first time in years. This is mental. I can't believe I've done this with just selling boots. So that's when I knew it was kind of, you know, financially viable as more than a hobby. It was a really proud day for me, paying that off, because I'd always been terrible with money, and that was something I've been trying to work on for a long time. And it took running my own business to really understand the value of money and the value of time, and like not wasting money on stupid stuff. And then from that point I was like, right, I've made a good chunk of money here, like a couple of grand to pay off my overdraft. So then I thought, right, if I've paid that off, what could happen if from now on I stop buying stuff myself and I just reinvest all the money into the business? And since then, that's what I've done, and that means I can now do stuff like this. That's a bunch of brand new classics about to go up this weekend. I've been doing like a drop every weekend or every other week at the moment. Tons of brand new pairs, because I've reinvested everything, so it means I can buy more stuff, buy it soon. So I'm about to finish photographing and videoing this stuff, ready to go up on the website and the Instagram today, and then I'll pick up with you and tell you a little bit about how I took Proper Retro from being kind of used boots, bits and bats, into a more serious, business-minded, brand new boots, the website, all that stuff. God, I'm out of breath, I'm out of shape. Right, sort this out, see you in a sec. decent little delivery, this. BRB, stepping up in the world. Come and see it. So this is all that's left from all those new boots, because all these sold last night. Crazy. Welcome back to mandrinkstins.com. So, last time we spoke about the progression of PRB, I was telling you that lockdown, I started getting more and more pairs, and then obviously we started to take it more seriously, and I wanted to make things a bit more business-like, and that coincided with me and Mrs. Retro moving here to Manchester. So, I remember when like lockdown ended for a bit, and we had all that false hope, and it was like the world was going to be fine, and then it wasn't. Well, during that time, we moved to Manchester, and obviously, usually you'd expect moving with your partner and be like, oh, I want hundreds of pairs of football boots. They tell you to fuck off, but not me. It was great. Missy Retro understood that, you know, this is something I'm really passionate about, and it's something that is making money and is productive. So she was like, that's cool, you do whatever you want, you can have the spare room, use it as an office, just keep all your boot stuff in there so it's not in the rest of the flat, and you do as much as you want. So that's amazing. But one thing for me was that I wanted to stop selling as many used boots. One, because I'd had a few issues like selling boots and they get damaged and stuff, and it was just literally messier. Two, it meant I didn't have to clean as many things. And three, just wanted it to be a bit more professional, because I thought, you know what, working as a photographer like 9 to 5, I know I can take really good pictures of stuff, and for Instagram, obviously taking pictures is a big part of it. So if I can do that really professionally, I need to make sure I'm doing everything professionally, and I thought it's just more professional. It's also a lot harder, but the longer you're in the game, the easier it is to work out how you need to look for stuff. So moved to Manchester, started selling kind of just brand new stuff. I got to the point where I was like, right, if I'm doing these big drops all the time, it's tough. People on Instagram are just DMing and fighting for stuff, and I have to pick someone to get a pair. It's not fair. So that's when I decided to make the website. So moved to Manchester, decided to go all brand new and work on the website. At this point, I'm still reinvesting all the money that I can back into the business, trying to make sure every little detail's been improved, whether it's buying individual boxes for pairs that don't come with a box, or if it was better quality postage bags, obviously paying to run the website, getting a new camera so that I could start this channel, and also I could photograph everything for the website. All this stuff just meant that at this point I'm putting in a lot of time and a lot of money and not necessarily getting anything out of it. Yeah, I'd buy like a t-shirt or a hoodie here and there, or a new pair of trainers or something, but it's not like a sustainable form of like second income, you know what I mean? So at this point, we've gone through all the initial hype. Things have built up quite a bit. We've moved to Manchester. At this point, I think the page is at maybe about 2,500 followers when we moved here. And that's when I decided, right, this is pretty serious. I'm gonna step it up a notch, take it to the next level. From there, things went wild. So I'm gonna enjoy this. Oh, sponsor me. Shout out to the Soccer Sauce on Instagram, Yasin, by the way. It's the only guy that I buy all my Nike stuff from, if anyone's wondering. I wear a lot of these zip-ups. This colour's mad. So, moved to Manchester, decided we were going to make the website. Things went wild. Come with me, I'll explain why. How good are these? So, starting the website and transitioning to mainly only selling brand new stock meant a couple of things. It meant, one, I had to take a bit of time to build up enough stock to really make it worth doing a launch for the website, and it meant obviously kind of changing the way that I look for stuff, and that ultimately led to quite a big hit for like about 6 weeks, I'd say. Like, I'd got used to the amount of money that was coming in, the amount of money I could spend on stuff, but obviously it meant the stock I was getting was more expensive, with it being new pretty much. Having to wait a long time for a lot of stuff to arrive, spending a long time trying to find enough pairs to get in to make it worthwhile to do like a big launch, and I was really excited for it, and I was posting on the Instagram, building hype, it was all going really well, people were really excited for it, but it meant ultimately I wasn't really selling much product for like 4 to 6 weeks, which for me at the time was a lot, because I was kind of doing like a drop every weekend, basically like 7, 8, 9, 10 used pairs at once. And at this point I was kind of using some of that money to subsidise my wage. Having just moved to the city, we could go out and have nice meals, we could go shopping, do stuff like that. So this time financially was probably the worst for Proper Retro that there's been. But ultimately, I think it paid off, because when we got around to launching the website and we put like 35 pairs, I think it was, on the website originally. Loads of those sold like straight away, and it was awesome. And it was such a satisfying feeling knowing that people were excited and people were being a part of something. They weren't just stumbling across the page on Instagram and being like, oh, what have you got in my size? They were waiting and ready, and they jumped on the website and they bought that stuff. And so many people who bought stuff messaged me saying they were so happy about it, and it really made me proud at that point. That was a big point for Proper Rec. So then from there, that's when I started the model, kind of at that point doing like a big restock once every month when I could, and putting like a few cool used pairs on the Instagram now and then. But ultimately, that is the model that I followed for maybe like 2-3 months. During that time, I'd just keep pumping out teasers for each drop. I'd constantly be searching for stuff all the time, but it means I would just put stuff up at like the end of the month. It would sell, I'd get a chunk of money, and then a few bits would trickle out through the month, and it kind of meant I would spend all my money, make all my money in one day, spend it all again on more stuff. It was kind of, there would always either be a lot of money in the boot account or no money in the boot account, a lot of pairs in stock or no pairs in stock. And that recently is something that I've tried to change. So during that time, for a few months, you know, sales are good, followers have gone up and up and up. We hit landmarks, we've done stuff like, we launched the YouTube channel, which obviously, if you're watching this, thanks, you're enjoying it. I am too, but it's a lot of hard work. So yeah, over the last couple of months, I've started to try and change the business model, because ultimately you have to adapt to what you can and can't do and what works for the market. And obviously, I've been running this page for about a year, and during that time, the football boot market, well, really, the market has started. You know, there's been people who've been selling for years, but there's never been this many. It's never been such a popular niche. So now it means like things have changed and you have to adapt certain things. So now I'm trying to drop stuff every weekend, every other week. I'm trying to constantly, you know, still get new pairs, get a few more used pairs here and there, trying to cater to everyone. And in the time that's passed, I've kind of found my niche. You know, jokingly, other sellers I'm friends with call me the takedown king, the Khabib of boot selling, because I sell a lot of like mid-tier stuff, because other people don't, and I like to give people the option, and you know, it works for everyone. But during that time, like, followers have gone up, sales have gone up, but still the main thing is I've reinvested all that money into trying to grow the business. So it's at a point now where every month, you know, I'm probably putting up maybe like 40 pairs on the website every month, and most of those are selling, which is, you know, awesome. It's really cool. And then I'm straight away trying to reinvest that money. I'm constantly looking for more stuff and being like, can you hold these for a couple of days, or putting stuff on like a watch list or whatever, just kind of going back to stuff as and when I have the money to be able to spend it. But obviously the more often I sell stuff, the more often I have money, the more often I can buy more stuff. So I'm just trying to keep it moving, keep it growing, because ultimately I'm learning. I've never run a business before. I've got a fine art degree, you know what I mean? It's pointless. It doesn't set you up for any of this stuff. But yeah, so that brings us to kind of pretty much present day. It started off as a hobby, you know, just trying to get a pair of boots for myself. Along the way, I've made a lot of mistakes, learned a lot of things, you know, there's been a lot of lessons taught, but we have sold over 600 pairs to, I think it's like 15 countries around the world. I've cleaned a lot of dirty boots. I've packaged a lot of orders. Mrs. Retro has done a lot of work behind the sgenes. The drop that I was showing you earlier, everything, there is only, I think, 5 pairs left from all that stuff that I showed you, which is insane. Like, I genuinely can't believe how much this has grown, what it's become so far. I just wanted to share with you a little bit of the story. Sorry if this video is a bit rambly or disjointed. There's been a lot of stuff that I wanted to kind of talk about, while still giving you a bit of behind the scenes of what's going on here at the moment. It's taken me about 3 weeks to film this video, if you can't tell by the fact I've had like 2 different haircuts. I've grown a beard. I've probably, you know, voice probably finally dropped, considering I've started puberty. But yeah, it's been wild. If there's anything I've missed out from this video, or if there's anything you want to know, comment below, please, or message us on Instagram. Just continue to support all the content that we put out, and I'll try and put out the stuff that you guys enjoy. If you've enjoyed this, please, please, please like the video, comment on the video, share it around, subscribe to us if you're watching this. I know this has been a long one and it's been a lot of talking, so you know, might be a bit more boring than some of the stuff I've done, but I've got loads of cool stuff coming up. I'm doing an old versus new Predators comparison test. Are they still good? I'm going to start doing some top tier versus takedown again. I think I'm going to do a Hypervenom 1 for that, because I have the mid tier and the top tier both in stock in my size at the moment, in pairs that I can wear. Just trying to bring you guys useful, interesting, hilarious content from this stupid brain of mine. So thank you very much for watching. I hope this video has been enjoyable and makes sense, and if not, hope you watched it anyway. The next one will probably be better. Right, thank you guys so much from me, Marcus, Proper Retro Boots, the hundreds of staff I have working for me here, season ticket holders. See you at the next game. Thank you so much.